Hot
Hello,
diggity
everyone.
fuck, it's PATHCO.
Yes.
You
Now,
know,
incredible that even in this state, you are
Even
perfectly
in my
capable of messing
weakened
up.
state.
Even in your weakened state, you are perfectly capable of messing up the intro.
I
You're
thought you were
welcome.
just deliberately delaying because you were waiting for him to.
yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Okay. So, welcome everyone to the magical, wondrous world of PATHCO. I am on the DM. These are my players. The players.
Hello. With several
Hi.
of the players.
Several
Many of
players.
us.
Yes. Last time, can anyone tell me where exactly we left off?
We very successfully executed a bank heist.
That is correct. That was a very impressive maneuver on Thyra and Brother Glanvar's part.
And the rest of us very successfully planned a kidnapping.
That is also
well,
correct.
Well, that remains to be seen.
Well, we successfully planned it.
Yes, this is true. Whether the plan itself
planning-
is successful is another
The
thing.
planning went off without a hitch. It's the
Yeah,
execution.
planning is
in
not the
question.
hard part.
Didn't we get 2 barrels of grease and then we decided we didn't need them?
No, we got 2 barrels of grease, and we're gonna grease up that grease trap.
Yes, I think I recall that.
Okay. So, since you guys did the robbery last time, Brother Glanvar and Jack, so Thyra, can you remind us what exactly it was that you hauled from the bank?
Like, vaguely. I think I got a book.
Okay. Do you maybe have a...
Yeah, and I've got a shopping list of the things that I got. It's called
neat.
Principles of Red Matter Principles. I
Yes.
don't... Yep, something along those lines,
Yep.
perhaps.
Principles of Red Plain Alchemy is, I believe, the published title.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why Dag is on a separate chat message.
Oh.
Maybe a new line.
Peculiar.
Ooh, I
Peculiar
popped it out.
mistress.
I didn't mean to do that. There we go. How did I do that? Oh,
What'd you do?
if you double click the chat message, it pops out into a separate window.
What? Why?
I don't know. It was an accident. I didn't
How
mean to.
bizarre.
I can't do that. What did you do?
I just double clicked the little like on the top bar where it's like the settings and the music and journal. I double click that and it pops out.
Oh, weird.
Indeed. So, indeed, from the vault of Olaf Peachwood, you have procured a package with the book Primary Principles of Red Plain Alchemy, 20 small bottles, which seem to resemble what you got from Chatwick Crumble, namely some kind of healing potion. You have a wand gun with 10
Sick.
cartridges.
Oh dang! I got dibs on that.
And you have
just a regular
pistol.
gun as well.
Indeed, you also just have a regular gun, which has a bunch of bullets and also a dagger, which you, Thyra and Glanvar, being dwarves, and you having the extra perk to recognize stonework and metallurgy, you notice that these are made of cold iron, both the bullets and the dagger. And
the book. It's extremely expensive and
yeah,
very
it's
heavy.
the outside is cast in cold iron. No,
it's actually someone has made a cast of the entire book. All the pages are just really thin bits of cold iron.
Ooh.
These bottles I got also cold iron.
Nice.
And actually, the entire bank was as well. They were really worried about demon bank robbers.
Yeah. Well, with Faye on and about. Out and about, rather. Okay, so that is what you got. The book is a book that is red itself, and it has no remarkable features except for a little frame with the title. And you have the bottles, the gun. You have not yet determined what exactly the gun is going to fire if you ever shoot it, but you do have it. And I believe that when we left off last time, you guys were headed back towards your inn.
Didn't I like crash out through the? Oh yeah, I crashed at the bank on a guard, didn't I? And then
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
You
Ditched-
smashed the guard through the window and surfed him down.
and then ditched the guard somewhere else as we ran away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a sleet storm, I think.
Indeed, the sleet storm. At which point you also made your first acquaintance with the balloons, the anti-magic balloons. Sigmund and Dave, could you do a quick run over of what exactly your meticulously and successfully well thought out plan was?
I can't quite remember.
No, that's good. No, I got this one. So,
Okay.
we've got several barrels of grease, and we have worked out a route that our prey is going to be going on in his carriage, probably with his partner at the time. And we've decided to get them on the way back, because that will give us some time to actually go up into their office whilst they're out. Now,
And try and get the cigar box, which has some secret notes
exactly.
in.
Now, we haven't worked out exactly what the team split is going to be like on this, but I'm assuming there's going to be 2 people doing a break-in, 2 people waiting for him to come out, and our ally, the good doctor surgeon, is going to be. Are they going to be with the team that's getting the person?
Yeah, Amos Payne is going to be with the people that are going into the office.
Yeah.
Because he will provide the necessary ruse that will grant you entry.
Yeah, that's right. So there'll be some kind of split of people there. After he leaves, people will start breaking in with Amos Payne. The rest of the people are going to be in stakeout mode, waiting for him to come back out after he's had a few drinks. Coming back out from the auction house, at which point we will grease the road, and hopefully he will just completely eat shit as his carriage goes on. Just stack it completely. Just completely stack it into the river. At which point we're going to have a little rowboat or something that's out there that's going to row out, rescue him, and then we're going to take him back. Oh no, he's been injured. We've got to take him back to his office. And that's the plan. And if he's not unconscious, then I'm going to bonk him on the head with mace spades until he's unconscious.
All right, that sounds good. How will you procure a rowboat?
I was going to leave that to Dave.
Okay, that's fair. Dave is a little away at the moment.
We got money. We could.
That's true. That's true. You do have money.
We also have money. No, I'm not going to leave this to Dave. I'm going to leave this to Mob Beck. He can do something. We're going to head back to the thing and get Mob Beck. This is what he's there for. They just
So as you are all gathered again in the
Oh, in fact, also, can we also get some of Montbeck's agents to be helping set the grease and that? That seems good.
Okay, so as you are back at the Three Geese Inn, you enter Glanvar, curiously covered in glass sprinkles. The bartender, Bert, says, you're back. There's someone waiting for you downstairs. Think you better go take a look.
Very well.
And as you return to your quarters...
Is this all of us, by the way, or...?
Yes, I think that at this point you will have been able to meet up with the other team and jointly return to your quarters. So as you return, indeed, Monbeck is there, and so is Brenna Parrish, and they seem to have been waiting here for you. And Monbeck turns to you and says, "Oh, there you are. Fantastic. We came for a quick visit into the city. We've been wanting to hear what you guys have been up to. So what's the news?"
Well, someone, and I'm not quite saying who, successfully infiltrated the bank.
You infiltrated the bank?
Well, I said someone, not me.
Right. And why exactly did you do that?
Why are we there again? Oh yeah.
Oh, because we're trying to remake the library and litany of clues that Olaf Peachwood had himself, that led him to make the kind of revelation, like intuitive leap that got him killed, probably. So we're trying to retroactively work out what it is that he worked out.
Oh, right. I see.
So that wasn't in character. That was me reminding. Feel free for.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, it turns out that the sky is full of poison, and
poison.
Yeah, or like some kind of demon evil thing. So, we've been sort of chipping away at that one. It's a pretty big one. But it's also why, divination magic. I don't know if either of you are spellcasters, but divination magic's a bit fucky in this city. So, yeah, that as well.
Bran says, yes, I've noticed. So, there's something to do with demons or poison in the air?
Yeah, potentially both.
I see.
We'll just give a rundown of just the general way that we understand.
I think you can generally bring them up to speed to how things have gone. And Brenna sort of nods, and Montbec seems pretty worried, as he usually is, about everything. And
we also we've managed to locate with the flawless execution, and Sigmund kind of is a bit concerned about all the glass on Landvar and Fire, but okay, I'm sure we've managed to locate a number of the books. Dave also was able to get some from the library. I think we're missing. Sorry, out of character. I think we're missing one. It's just the cigars we need. That's the last one, right?
Yes, that is indeed what you are missing.
And we have found a co-conspirator in the university, Mr. Amos Payne. We have this very night a plan to take not only the last piece of information that we require, but also to apprehend and interrogate one of our prime suspects for the kind of planning behind all of this problems. And I'll explain who we're going after. I'll explain that we're also a bit sus of this of the partner who's the sister of Thingy. Then we'll go through the plan, and if we can request some agents for helping spread in Greece, if we can get like a boat, like that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I know we're trying to go in a clip, so I'm just abstracting it slightly.
Of course. Okay, so Montbec and Brenna think on this. Brenna says, I have to say, when Montbec first brought you in, I didn't think you'd be this effective, and but you've done a good job.
Most people don't think that about us, I'll be honest with you.
We have that effect on people.
Yep.
So it seems. Well, I have to commend you. This is further than we've gotten.
The trick is hiding out in the toilets, apparently.
The trick is staging a disastrous bank robbery that nearly results in you getting eaten by a balloon or something.
I see. Well, I'll keep it in mind. A boat, that should be no problem.
In fact, Montbec, could you be in the boat? We could use you on this side.
Very well. I'll aid you tonight. Very well. I'll make sure that I'll be there with a boat in the vicinity when you need me. I'll just be, rowing around. I'll be in a disguise, but you'll know it's me.
Take a fishing rod.
I will. That's a good idea. And Brenna says...
If someone has a fishing rod, he can pass it out.
You have a fishing rod?
I must do, because I've got fishing as one of my things, right?
Oh, but do you have a fishing rod in your inventory?
Let me just check. I'm sure I have in the past. It could have got lost.
Was
when
this one of those weird skills that I gave you during the fucking pirate module, like
it
2 weeks of
absolutely
downtime?
was. It
Nice,
absolutely was.
nice.
Like, let me just go through. Yep, I have a fishing kit.
Nice.
Amazing. Okay. Monbeck
And a hammock for some reason.
Monbeck takes it and says, "Wow, you're full of surprises."
And a hammock in case I get bored.
Nice. I also have 2 packets of crisps and a game of Battleship. No. So Monbeck
It's
takes a fishing
travel
I
battleship.
have an old
unfortunately-
Bello branded waffle iron.
What?
kit. Really?
Yeah, I don't know when that came up, but okay.
And people say that Apollyon has weird shit on him.
What does
Apollyon has Gilhelm, you know, that trumps
Okay.
everything.
I suppose it does. So Monbeck takes a fishing kit, and Brenner says, "Perhaps I can stay on the lookout for the Chancellor's carriage. That way, you can all search the office together."
Oh, you think all 4 of us should be in the office?
I think so. Well, normally there should be plenty of time to. I'll make sure to alert you early when he leaves, so that you can return to your ambush spot, if you will.
Oh,
And Monbeck sort of leans to you and says, "It's best to leave this to her. She's got this really cool power. She can turn into a bird. It's awesome. She's a great scout."
okay. So, I mean, do you have enough men, Montbeck, to handle the crashing of the cart yourself? And you think it'd be best if all 4 of us were investigating the office?
That's going to be a little difficult. You see, well, my men, as you put it, well, it's you.
Oh, okay. So, sorry, Mon. I didn't know if you were kind of out of character, steering us all to be in one group for this next part. Is that the case, or?
That is one. That is the case, and 2, Monbeck doesn't have any other men here. That's why he hired you.
Okay, right. But they've got 2 people. So we are going to need
Yes.
to. So all 4 of us are going to have to investigate, and then some of us are going to have to book it back to help with this.
Yeah.
Okay. Unless we could hire somebody else trustworthy to help with this. How much money is left on our Oyster card?
You still have all your marks. You've not bought anything from the gift shop.
Okay. I'm just wondering how it's going to be in terms of like getting back to handle the ambush, but.
Considering from what Brenna seems to be planning, she is going to alert you once Michaels leaves the merchant house.
And from what we can gather, we should have enough time to get this sorted.
You should have enough time, from what you gather, to get to your ambush spot before he reaches it with his carriage.
Okay, cool. Well, in which case, we can stack we can let Montbeck stack everything up when we need to. We can just go about it. Okay.
And Brenna says, if need be, I'll delay him slightly so that you can get to your ambush spot.
Okay, that's good. All right.
Okay. Oh, yeah, we've got one
Sorry about
mic
that.
down. Ah, hello.
Sorry.
Have you heard anything that we've said, or have you not?
I think you met with Montbeck, but that's it.
Yep. So the current plan is that Monbeck is going to be ready to pick up anyone that falls into the river with his rowboat. He's going to be there. He's going to help you with the staged rescue. And Brenna Parrish, who is also here, is going to be the one to alert you when the Chancellor leaves the merchant house.
Okay.
Because
But
according
we're
to
Sorry, go on.
because according to Monbeck, she has this a cool power where she can turn into a bird.
I love birds. She's great. I love her.
Sigmund, you were saying?
I was going to say, just to get Dave up to speed, which we're going as a 4 to investigate the the office whilst he's out, and then when we get the nod, we're going to get enough time to get back and do the ambush. So we're not going to split the party on that thing.
Okay.
Indeed.
Have we solved the question of what we're going to do with his girlfriend, the Chadwick sister?
We're basically going to separate her from him after the crash and just smoke and mirrors it, probably, or just bonk her in the head with a mace of spades or something.
You take it out, bonk him on the head with a mace of spades.
Okay.
Just separate them, basically.
And like, this is an out of character question. Remind me again what we're doing with this guy.
We're taking
basically
him back to his office.
Yeah. Well, why? Why again?
We reckon it's him. We reckon he's the bad guy.
Okay.
We reckon he's the bad guy. Out of character, I reckon it's the sister, but like Sigmund isn't that smart. So we are basically.
Basically, you have gotten a few clues that, for instance, Amos Payne suspects the Chancellor. There is some shady stuff going on with him. You, at the very least, suspect that he knows a lot about what the hell is going on here.
Okay.
And basically, you are trying to kidnap him to get as much information out of him as possible, because it seems that he is much more up to speed with whatever the hell is going on than you are.
He's our prime suspect, basically. And like, we've not just picked the name out of a hat. There is some supporting evidence.
Okay.
Okay. So you still have a bit of time until the evening when the plan is going into effect. What are you going to do with that time?
Have a snack.
I would say scout out.
How long have we got?
You've got about 3 hours.
Glanval's going to go scouting out for a good vantage point then to stay at during the execution, so he can be of assistance.
All right. So you, Glanval, you are sort of going scouting in the area of where you are going to do the ambush, which I am pinging at. You can tell that the roofs of the houses here are not terribly high.
Could you re-ping? Sorry.
Oh, yes. Loop.
What's there?
Yes, indeed.
Thank you.
Yes. So the roofs on the houses there are not that high. You notice that there are a couple of like structural pillars which you could hide behind. Other than that, there is a bit of height between the river and the like the river side, so you could probably also sort of hide below the edge of the riverside pavement. Those seem the immediate opportunities for a vantage point for you. Or are you looking for more of an overview kind of thing?
I'm looking for somewhere that I can stash myself, so I can make myself useful should anything go wrong, or rapidly respond to the events in question.
Well, it seems that in that area, the roofs of the houses that are around there are pretty appropriate for that kind of task. Sigmund, I remember you mentioning something about an oyster card, or a clam card, rather. Where were you going with that?
I just had to run back because I was just about to do a thing, for which I was muted for your sense. So that was partially a joke. Like, do we want to get Tim the Rat King to be able to help us somehow?
What kind of thing are you thinking about for help?
Well, just as an extra kind of warm body, really.
I'm not sure. I think you just like Tim the Rat King.
I do.
I mean, don't get me wrong. His name is fun to say.
It is, but I don't think he's gonna be any help.
Okay.
I think we shouldn't involve. We've already got all the PATHCO, so that's 3 of us right now. No, 3, 4, 4. And then we've got Amos Payne, and then we've got Montbec and Brenner, and I don't think we need anyone else.
Should we at least like go down? I think Sigmund will at least go down and just give him like he'll buy something from the gift shop, and
You're
it'll
right.
just be like if, or maybe he'll just listen to that story. That'll take 3 hours, right?
Just think how easy this would be if we had a feral bloody Gilhelm to just go on.
Yeah.
A page.
Yeah, but
I
like,
miss that
he'll
golem.
basically just be like, if there's any kind of weird movement in the sewers, 'cause
Mhm.
if there's anything weird happening in the sewers tonight, just to send a rat with a note to the barkeeper, the bartender.
All right.
Because he's in on it, right?
All right. I can certainly do that for you. Seems like you're planning quite the adventure up on top. Very well.
Honestly, this one's more of a scheme than an adventure. Usually, an
Aha.
adventure is more.
A cunning ploy.
Yeah, like this is more in one. Yeah, this is more like in one place, and we're kind of going around about it. So it's
see.
more of a caper. Whereas an adventure,
indeed.
usually you've got more of a defined momentum.
Oh, that's true. I see. Oh, well, that's very interesting. In fact, speaking of interesting things, and he sort of puts his hand out, and his sort of white, greyish rat jumps onto his hands. Would you like to hear a story about this rat?
You're cutting in and out a lot, Mon.
Oh,
but,
dear.
Oh, he's okay for
assuming
me.
that's If I,
Yeah, he's
okay, so yeah, sorry, that's why I wasn't speaking over you. If that was what was just happening, but you're cutting in and out. So I'm assuming he's asked me if I want to hear a story about this rat.
Yeah.
Sigmund's going to inquire if his story's like take more or less than 3 hours.
Oh, no, it's actually quite a short story. It's quite a simple one. But I always like to tell it.
Okay, I'm going to hear
And
the
he
story.
takes out a ukulele and bursts into song.
And does buying something? What do I buy from the gift shop? Does this cost me some money?
It's not going to cost you money. It's going to take some marks off your clam card.
Okay.
What are you looking for? There's a lot of debris from the sewers. There's a skull, a human skull. There are a couple of empty bottles. There's what looks like a ship's steering wheel. There is also the shell of a large nautilus. There is
Wait, sorry, a large what?
a large nautilus. Yes, so sort of how do you say it? How like a mollusk thing?
Like an
a
ammonite.
Fibonacci. Yeah, a Fibonacci. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what he's got, and he also has a pair of pants, like a sturdy trousers.
Okay. Well, I
American
can always
pants.
use a 32 pair of trousers. I think I'm going to go for the. Oh wait, no, I've got a good plan. This is going to help with our scheme, actually, Tim. I'm going to take the large nautilus.
All right. Very well. That's 1 and 2. That's 3 stamps off your clam card. There we go.
Okay.
How does he
Alright.
remove them? Does he lick them off?
He basically just puts more like paint on it, so he just sort of scribbles it
I
out.
see. Okay. That's very sensible.
See, I
And
know
yeah,
you
just
said
like
Nautilus, but I heard
let the
Nautilus.
bartender know if anything weird goes on.
I'll be sure to do that.
And ruin his business in
Wow.
the process, probably. With a large rat sighting.
So he lifts up the rat and he says, "Now about this rat, you see, here down in the sewers, I've lived for many years, as you can see by my long beard and my almost equally long toenails.
Where is he?
However, as I've been spending some time here, I've noticed the incredible potential of these rats." And he taps his nose. You see, this particular rat is the result of years and years of breeding them. And in fact, now finally, I have created the stupidest rat in existence.
I love it. I want one.
Because you see, Mr. What's your name again?
It's Sigmund Mumble.
Ah, Mumble. By any chance related to the Mumbles from a few hallways down? Think there's a... Or was that... No, I don't think that was Mumble. That was more of a... Hmm. Oh well. You don't look
no,
alike, get
no,
you
we're
there.
out of towners.
Ah, I see. It's a common name, Mumble. So you, the rat's eyes are totally unfocused. They blink at different times. Now you see, Sigmund. You might... I learned this trick from an ancient sage. Or, well, from something written by an ancient sage in a fortune
ancient
cookie.
sage.
But from an ancient sage, anyway. Because you see, Sigmund, the real most important factor that inhibits us, not only us, but also these animals, from reaching our full potential is our inherent belief that we can't do it. However, this rat, because it is so very stupid, has absolutely no notion of its own limits, both mental and physical. And you see, because of this, the rat also has no notion that it cannot in fact achieve martial mastery. Which is why I have trained it in the art of fighting for many years. And given its absolute idiocy, it has not once stopped improving. Because you see, this rat is not aware that it cannot in fact practice martial arts because it is a rat. And without that awareness, its potential is limitless. You can see the rat sort of blink in 2 different directions. Yes?
You're a genius.
I know! What do you think? I've been spending all of my years down in these sewers. Do you think I like to live here? No, it's awful. But these rats live here, and where the rats are, there I must be.
That makes so much. I too find that I'm not completely stupid, but I can, if I imbibe too much alcohol, I do find that my martial prowess does increase as my ability to make good judgment calls decreases.
Indeed, indeed. You are very right. I see that you are also an acolyte of the true teaching of this world, my good man Mumble.
Perhaps, what style of martial arts does this rat know?
You see, I've called the style something myself. It is called Crouching Rodent, Unaware Master. Go! General Whiskers! Show us your power! And he releases the rat onto the ground.
Sigmund brings his shield up, and it's just, you're like
Take 46 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay, and so he points the rat at a brick wall of the sewers. Now look closely and stand back! He is quite powerful. Alright, General Whiskers, destroy that wall! And Glanfar, as you are sort of sitting on your roof looking out, you're sort of, with your massively high perception, you sort of notice like a weird fluctuation because you are attuned to ki as a monk. You notice sort of a weird fluctuation deep into the sewers, which Sigmund, you see as this rat jumps up, and you can see sort of an amassing of like wind as it tips a paw forward while it is jumping in the air, and part of the wall explodes.
Oh shit!
There it goes! You see? The incredible power of Crouching Rodent, Unaware Master! I've not lived here for nothing, I'll tell you that! Impressive, isn't he?
Tim, we need We need use of your rat. That's more than enough to knock a carriage over, right?
Oh, naturally.
Okay, Tim. Forget about the. Okay, if you leave some spies down here, no, we got a plan for you and your rat. We're gonna need you to help. How would you like to help? Make a high-ranking member of the university just completely eat shit tonight?
I'd say that you have my hand, and General Whiskers' paw.
Excellent. Okay. Now, yeah. You go upstairs. You talk to. Sorry, out of character. I'm not going to go through filling in on the plan, but I'm going to tell him to go talk to Monbeck, and Monbeck can help him fill in the plan.
All right.
So now he's rolled in.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, I am so on board with this plan now.
Are you sending Monbeck down into the sewers, or are you trying to take Tim with you?
Actually, you know what? Let's bring Monbeck down into the sewers. That's probably going to be the way to go about this.
Yeah, he seems very reluctant, but he follows you nonetheless, and he is.
What, Monbeck? Well, we're in charge. You know what he was doing, or he hired us. Probably.
That's true. That's true. He is sort of very gingerly sidestepping all of the puddles, and he sees Tim, and Tim says, "Hello!" And Monbeck looks at you and says, "Okay, Sigmund, I know that you've been very successful so far, but what is this?"
Okay, I didn't get any of that, unfortunately.
Oh shit! Sorry. So basically, Monbeck follows you down into the sewers. He sees Tim. Tim says, "Hello," and Monbeck turns to you and says, "Okay, Sigmund. Now I know that by some miracle, your weird plans have always been sort of successful in the past. But what is this?"
This is our ace in the hole.
Right, ace in the sewer hole. It seems. Who is he?
Ace in the manhole.
Oh yes,
This is
very
Tim.
good.
He's one. This is our ace. That's very good, Egg.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Hello, free.
Very, very good.
This is Tim. He is a extremely talented breeder,
Martial arts coach.
and martial arts coach. And one of his students is going to be assisting us tonight with the thing that I was a little bit unsure about, what we're going to be using to actually knock once the carriage is greased, what's going to actually knock it into the river. And one of Tim's students here is going to help us out with that. So if you can just get him up to speed about what the plan is and just bring him in, that's going to be great.
All right. And Monbeck sort of pulls up one of the crates and baskets that Tim has, and sort of, with his hands on his knees, very gingerly sits down on it. Okay. Hello, Mr. And they are sort of talking. Okay, so that is the thing. Monbeck is filled in on the Tim part of the plan. Dave, what are you doing?
Having a snack.
Okay, that's very fair.
Egg wishes that Dave had gone with Sigmund because I want Dave to meet this rat, but too late for that now. Would he be doing anything useful?
You can always meet the rat later.
What would Dave do?
What be useful?
I'm just wondering if Dave would do anything useful. He is a teenager with a negative wisdom score, so
that is true.
He would definitely have a snack, and then have another snack, probably.
Okay, that's very fair. Thyra, what do you think that you are doing? Any specific kind of prep?
Can I go busking? That seems like a fun thing to do. It's like a kind of thing that bards should do. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go busk outside. Just clear my mind. Be relaxed to go and do some political assassinations or something.
Cool.
Okay, not assassination. Not unless things go really wrong.
No, you're not quite that far down the road.
No, we're not that cool.
Okay. Yet. Jack, what do you think Thyra is doing in terms of prep?
So Thyra is probably gonna go and get her hair like blacked, I think. Like not
Okay.
necessarily permanently, but also she was just in a kind of a bank heist. So
Mhm.
she essentially gets like a slightly different outfit
Mm.
because she's still wearing armor, so
Mm.
there's only so much you can do there. But she
Okay.
buys like a different cloak with like a hood and
Okay, nice.
blacks her
Puts
hair.
charcoal in her hair.
Mm.
I don't even think it's charcoal. I think it's something. It's like semi-permanent dye, like
Mm.
blacking her hair, like a lamp oil
Yeah.
or something. I don't know.
Cool. Okay. So you have sort
But
of
yeah,
altered your look to avoid suspicion.
yeah, a little bit. Like I
Cool.
don't know if you want me to roll like disguise or something, because I probably wouldn't be very good at that. But
No, I
If
think
you're
that
paying
you are...
someone to do it
Yeah,
for
you're
you,
paying someone to
Okay.
do it for you, so
how
I
much
don't think...
should I spend on this?
I don't know. That will determine the quality of your disguise, of course.
It's like a relatively. I'm thinking like relatively fine clothes. I'm
Mm.
thinking like a decent traveling cloak and stuff.
Okay. What kind of money are you willing to give?
I don't know. I was thinking like 10, 15 gold.
Oh yeah, that will definitely get you an above average good like disguise that is both well made clothes and a good difference from your usual look.
Yeah, and
and it's
however much
comfy.
some lantern oil or whatever takes
Mhm.
to change your hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like a traveling cloak by definition has to be comfy, right? Because otherwise it's gonna
Yeah,
be a
or
shit
Like
traveling
remember,
cloak.
it is sort of winter at the
Hmm.
moment, so it's pretty cold.
Oh, that's true. It's probably like fur lined in that case.
Nice.
The hood has like the freshest mink fur around the edge.
Mm.
Continuing
Okay.
Thyra's trend of having extremely like anti-vegan outfits.
Yeah, but oh well.
Hmm.
It is the times, I
It's a
suppose.
fantasy world we don't
Yeah,
have
it's
further
fantasy
yet.
times.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
fantasy times. We don't have vegans yet. They
That's
weren't
true.
until 1998.
Mm. I actually ran a one shot once where the villain was a man called Vegan Wizard,
I
but
think I
that's a
remember you
story
telling
for
me about
another
that.
time.
Was it Door Wizard that we were talking about in last week's B team? What the fuck was that about?
I can't
Door
remember.
Wizard.
Door Wizard.
Door Wizard.
We did mention it last week. Unlocking something or locking something?
I can't remember.
Oh yeah, I gave them a puzzle to open a door and they couldn't work it out.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
right.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
like
dear.
40 minutes. It was very funny.
Nice.
I had a wonderful time.
I'm sure.
Oh, it's a NPC that I invented called Scradulus the Gentleman, who is a door mage.
Oh, cool. Door Mage. That is pretty neat.
Anyhow,
Anywho, so the time comes, it is nightfall, and at sundown you gather at the academy. And via back door, Amos Payne lets you inside. And he says, you've come. Good. Follow me. And he takes you to like the back rooms of the like the medicine department, where he hands to you sort of clothing that is university brand medical gear, and he gives you some masks as well. And he says, "All right, the ruse that I've prepared is, in a few moments, I'm going to ring the contamination alarm. That way, we'll act as if there's been a contamination of the plague during an experiment in the office of the High Chancellor. And as we rush in, masked and ready to deal with the plague, we'll be able to take a look around, while nobody will bother us because they'll all be afraid of getting infected."
Okay.
So you can all add sort of the plague masks and medical gear to your stuff,
Except for Glanvar, who's not there.
except for Glanvar, who is not there.
Dave would just magic sleeves it.
All right, you
I
can
don't know
just
if
magic
I don't know if
sleeves
the
it.
if
Glanvar,
the
you are
mask would be
staking
added.
out the... I'm sorry?
I don't know if the mask would be added by magic sleeves, but I'll take that. But
All
everything
right.
else, just magic
Yeah.
sleeves.
So you get the mask and you magic sleeves your outfit. Glanvar, you are staking out the location then, if you are not there with them?
Yep.
Okay, that is fair. At the moment, you do not see anything out of the ordinary you see like a little rowboat pass, and it seems that there is sort of an odd fisherman. No, in fact, there are two odd fishermen. One is like a man you immediately recognize as Montbec.
He's a really shit spy. Holy crap.
He is.
No wonder he had to hire us.
Yeah, he sort of has like a big straw hat on, and he is fishing, like laid back in his boat and fishing. And as you are looking at him, and he sort of notices you very slightly, he gives a like thumbs up sign to you, and so does Tim, who is with him in the boat, and who is wearing like a big. Like he's not wearing his usual like weird little hat, and he's wearing like a big fisherman's coat, with his beard, and he also gives a thumbs up.
Glanvar just sighs and just puts his head in his hand, and then goes back to monitoring the street.
All right. So you, Dave, Thyra, and Sigmund. As you have prepared, Amos Payne runs the alarm, and you hear sort of a cling, like a bell going all through the academy, and you hear people running in the corridors, which seem to be the few guards that were stationed here at night, and they are running and they are asking him, "What's going on? What's going on? What's that alarm? What's that mean?" Amos Payne says, "There's been a containment. Quick, get us up to the High Chancellor's office. We need to prevent this outbreak of the plague before it reaches us." And they say, "The plague? Oh shit, the plague! Quick, get them up there!" And
I'm assuming we're in our plague outfit.
Yeah. You are in your plague outfits. You are wearing sort of beak masks apt for the situation, to look as hazmat-y as possible.
Your old fantasy hazmatter.
Yeah, indeed. Ye olde fantasy hazmatter. And you are taken up by the guards, and Amos Payne says, "All right, you go no further. We'll handle it from here." "All right, sir." And you go up. You start going up the stairs towards the High Chancellor's office, which is at the top of one of the two towers, and is up like a big spiral staircase.
Oh shit, he's Saruman.
And you are going up, and Amos Payne says, "All right, it's up these stairs. I have the key here. Luckily, I was able to forge it a few days ago for a... Well, I was always planning to take a look in here myself, but now we can make a joint investigation."
Man, am I glad Sigmund made friends with you. You are a very helpful man.
Thank you. All right, here goes. He slots the key into a large, sort of very ornate wooden door, which has the sort of how do you call it? When you have like a sculpture, but really it's carved out of a wall.
Like an engraving? Ooh, a frieze.
Engraving.
Is it a frieze?
No, it's not a frieze. A frieze is a kind of painting. It's an engraving. That's it.
Oh, good.
So you have an engraving of what seems to be like a sort of angelic situation where you have many angels surrounding the central figure of Saint Satoria. The key turns into the lock, and Amos Payne motions towards the door after you.
Sigmund will go in first because he's the most able to take damage from traps.
Okay. Dave will walk in because he doesn't really think about traps.
Okay, so you open the door, and you see before you the office of the High Chancellor. It is a pretty symmetrical thing with large bookcases and other display cabinets on the side. In the middle there is a desk with a very high-backed chair, and basically the entire back wall is one of the large windows of the tower. So it is a very tall room, and it has a very tall window at the back of the desk. And you see that in the middle of the room there is a bunch of like sofas set up and a coffee table which is strewn with like the wrappings of what looks like liquor bonbons and other kinds of like cookies and cakes. And there is an empty bottle there, and there is one like in the sofa as well. And you notice that there is also an open door which seems to lead towards sort of a walk-in wardrobe. And there are 3 other doors which are closed. One of them seems to look sort of like an elevator.
Well, that's suspicious.
Have we seen elevators anywhere else in the building?
You have not.
Have we ever seen an elevator at all? Ever?
That's a very valid question.
It's like a sort of a brass thing, and it's very clearly very ornately made, or at least the entrance here in the offices.
Have we never seen an elevator before?
I think you are familiar with the concept from like in mines and stuff,
From
where they have
science
like
fiction
platforms that go down. Yeah, from science fiction books. But you are familiar with the concept. And you
It's
see
amazing. I'm familiar with the concept, but I never thought I'd see an elevator in real life. Thyra looks on in wonderment.
I know. We're really in some kind of zone of adventure.
Sure.
Um,
Exactly what I was
I
saying.
understood that reference.
So we need to. Okay, well, first things first. Let's see if we can find those cigar boxes. All right.
Right.
I'm gonna look in the desk.
I'm going to look at the elevator.
Okay.
As you're looking around, I should notice that there is perhaps 1 or 2 other things that take your interest. There are 2 large glass cabinets which have items in them for display. In one of them, there are a set of 5 what look like perhaps lances or javelins, but really they have the shape of giant toothpicks. And they seem to be made of a sort of dark red goldish metal. And they are featureless except for the fact that they are pointed on both ends. And in the other, and in the other is a harness, so a suit of armor. And Thyra, you get a little sparkle in your eye as you immediately notice the material that it is made of.
Mithril.
Mithril.
Mithril. Glanvar, you're a dwarf. You have to... Look, I know you were born in an urban place, but
He's
you know,
not
I
here.
was born in a city too.
I'm not there.
Mithril.
He's not
He
here.
is not there. He is staking out the ambush location.
A random shiver
Oh, I
goes down
know.
his
Me and
spine.
Glanvar have a psychic link because it's never shown up on screen before.
Suddenly Glanvar just rubs his beard. Mithril.
Mithril.
Yeah, exactly.
What kind of armor is this? Like
Mithril.
what is
It is-
Mithril? Is it like a chain shirt or?
It is an entire suit of plate.
We should nick that and sell it, man. That's a lot of money.
And you see that it is inside this glass casing. It is not just propped up on an armor stand, but it seems that it is bound with like belts and stuff. And you can see that there are like 4 sort of devices with a cable attached to it, which seem to be like drilled into the armor suit.
Okay, that's cursed.
Let's not touch that. Hey, should we do the thing? Like, you know, the thing? Dave points
The
at,
thing?
like... he looks at Amos. You know, to kill the...
The
kill
cigar? What are you?
No,
What are you saying?
To,
What
to,
is the
to,
thing?
To kill evil thingies in the air.
Oh, Thyra uses her
Amos
channel
Payne sort of-
divinity or her channel energy.
Nice.
It's
Okay.
30 feet around is
Nice. And then Amos Payne
we've
was sort of
described
already-
it as a Sailor Moon transformation sequence style thing before. Just say.
Okay, that's cool. So you are in your angelic form then?
No.
No,
What-
it's just
what-
the
The motions.
pose thing that does it.
Oh yeah, of course. So you have that. Amos Payne was already panicking a little, and he says, "Oh, good call. I'd almost forgotten it. Yes, in this place we want to make sure that we are unnoticed. I should certainly hope nothing caught us while we entered, but I don't think so. Otherwise, we probably would have noticed. I hope. Anyway, let's go look." And Payne is sort of rifling through like bookcases and stuff.
Well, let's start with this javelin case. Like,
Oh,
how
well-
openable is that case?
And does Thyra
it's just a
know...
display case.
Does
It's just a glass display case. It doesn't seem to be locked. There's just a
Dave.
handle on it.
Dave, bring your bag of holding out here.
Wait, no, what are they? Like, does Thyra know what they're made out of? Doesn't she have like a bonus?
Make a roll, I'd say.
Hey, Thyra, what's this? Any ideas? You know metal, right? You're a dwarf.
Vaguely. She rolled a 13.
Okay, 13. You have no idea what this material is.
I have no idea what that
Dave doesn't know
material is.
either.
Dave has no idea either.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a go. Give me a sec.
Well,
Let me just-
we're gonna bring him in here. We don't want it to look like too suspicious. Like, what if the guards come back?
Oh, he's gonna be super unconscious by the time.
Yeah, but like, what if the guards? Well, I guess would they? Do you think they wouldn't come back in even if we said that we dealt with the plague thing?
This display case. Let's see when opens up the display case. He opens up Dave's bag of holding and just starts.
Hey,
shoving
no,
these
my bag of
things
holding.
in there.
It can't. It can only hold 50 pounds of stuff. It's already got quite a bit in there.
Yeah, you lift
And most of
one
that's
these.
M&M's.
Yeah,
Most of
you
that
lift
is
one of
M&Ms
these
and birdseed.
segments, and it is very weighty. It's a very heavy metal,
Get your own bag of holding.
and this thing probably weighs. I'm really not used to pounds.
2.2 pounds is 1 kilo.
It is an unfeasible amount of stuff to schlep.
12
into Dave's-
kilograms.
All right. So, what do you say? 2 pounds is sort of 1 kilo. You said.
More or less, yeah, 2.2 pounds.
Okay. So one of these spears would weigh about 11 or 12 pounds.
Okay, so we can't just steal all of these.
No, we're not here to steal. We're here to look for stuff. Dave's gonna go look for stuff.
We were here to look for stuff and then take it away from us that did not originally own to us. Like, let's not get funny about it. But okay, fair enough.
I mean, you can just take one yourself if you wish, but I don't think you have a bag of holding or a similar thing.
I don't, but I'm quite strong.
Stick it down your shirt. It'll be fine.
How could I conceal one of these about my disguised person?
Dave could maybe fit one in his bag of holding.
Down your trousers.
Just for you.
Is that a javelin, etc., etc.? Okay, yeah. How many of them are you taking?
Just the one, I think.
Just the one. Right.
How many of them are there?
5.
I mean, we could just, like, pile them up and then try and drag it all out, especially if we're going for the armor anyway.
This is true.
I don't
Are we
actually know
going
what
for
my
the armor?
carrying capacity is.
I'm not
I
sure.
mean, probably eventually, but let's go for the cigar first, I still think.
Yeah, I want to investigate the desk.
We need the MacGuffins first.
Yes. Plot first, stealing later.
Okay, so you look through the desk. You see that there are some papers on top of it at the moment. As you rifle through those, you notice that they seem to be sort of like strategic plans, but you can't immediately like place them. They're quite abstract. So as you keep searching through the
I
desk,
can
indeed,
carry 50 pounds of extra stuff without being affected.
You see on the desk the box of cigars.
That was easy.
It is closed at the moment.
Can I open it?
It's a trap.
Yeah, Egg thought that. I don't think Dave would though. Again,
All right.
-1 wisdom.
That is fair. Are you going to open it?
Yeah, I want to check if the important stuff's still in it. Because we
So
don't
you
want the
open
cigar box. We want the notes.
So you open it, and there is one cigar left. The
Oh,
others are
no.
gone. And Sigmund actually, or Sigmund and Thyra and Dave, roll me a perception.
I was very scared you were going to say like fortitude.
Reflex save, please.
Yeah.
No.
Oh wow.
Okay, 12, 17.
Oh god, what are we in with? Sigma's got the highest perception roll.
What a time to be alive. Sigmund, with a 17, you notice, perhaps because you've smelt it often before, the smell of burnt tobacco. And you also notice on the coffee table with the empty bonbon wrappers and stuff, there is also an ashtray with a lot of ash in it.
Okay.
Okay, so we take the ash, and then someone uses... never mind.
Well,
Thyra walks over to the
did-
ashtray and casts Mending.
Wait,
Okay.
no, hold on. Okay, that's interesting though.
You
Yeah,
can certainly do
go.
that. So you... how does the spell look?
It's like,
Fancy.
you know the Thanos thing with the snap? It's the opposite of that. So
Right,
dust
right.
turns into a thing.
So the Hulk
Okay.
thing with the snap.
Mhm.
What?
I haven't seen it yet. No spoilers.
Oh, for God's sake!
Sorry.
Alright, fine. It's
Um,
kind of like, you know when you teleport somewhere in Twilight Princess and you turn into like little pixels and then you fly away?
Mhm. Yeah.
Fucking man, I want to play
Okay.
Twilight Princess again. Holy shit.
So
Okay.
as you
It's a
use
great
your
game.
magic and the
Skyward Sword team.
the
That's not a great
ash
game.
coalesces
Yeah.
into 4 cigars, and you see as they are repairing themselves that indeed you see like thin rolls of paper also come back into existence and be encapsulated by the cigars. So it seems that the Chancellor and perhaps his
Wait,
girlfriend
shit.
just smoke these things with the sensitive information still inside them.
Well, at least we got it back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. In 5th edition, Mending has the thingy that writing on an object does not get repaired. Pathfinder does not have that rule.
Ah, good.
I'm so glad. Holy shit.
Yeah,
I
can
realized
imagine.
midway through the
That's a
conversation.
stupid rule. I think that's a stupid
It's like
rule.
the fact that grease is specifically specified. That was a bit redundant to not be flammable in
Yeah,
5th
that's
edition.
that's
Yeah.
that's just a
Boo!
lame rule.
Buzzkill!
Boo!
Yep.
All right. Where is
Thyra says, I did it. I solved the cigar.
indeed? So, as you open up the cigars, and then where's my notes for the cigar? Aha. You notice that in 3 of them, coincidentally, 3 of the ones that have been smoked, there are little papers.
God, I'm glad you have that spell.
And you open up one of them, and one of them is a paper with 4 names on it. And they are circled.
Dave Barrowhill.
With 3 question
Sigmund
marks.
von Beck.
One of them is Maximilian Michaels.
Oh shit.
The other are the following, and I will copy this into the chat.
Oh, okay. I'll copy paste.
The
it,
others
okay.
are Bartholomeus Jado, Bishop Mendacius, and Viceroy Carl Imago Bryn of Blackwater.
Michaels is the guy, isn't he? The one whose office we're in.
Maximilian Michaels is the Chancellor, yes.
Yes.
So it goes all the way to the top.
And these names are circled with 3 question marks. You open the second paper, and the second paper has a ticket. It is not actually a paper. It is just the ticket, and it is the retrieval ticket for Vault 131 in the Merchant House.
No need. Don't worry, gang. We solved that one.
It's in a case if we're going to hide this so Glanvar doesn't find it.
Yeah.
And the third one is what looks like an alchemical formula.
For
if
real
any of
good
you
moonshine.
if any of you have profession like alchemy or stuff, you can try to read it with that. If you
Really?
have,
I have professional sailor.
if you
Does that
have
help?
knowledge, otherwise you can try to combine knowledge engineering and knowledge arcana.
Yeah, I'll take that, please.
I don't have
Okay.
either of those either.
That is a lot. You aren't specifically trained in alchemy, Dave, but you are sort of aware of the universality of symbols that they use. It seems that this formula is has implications of positive energy, and with a bit of judgment from the side notes on it, you think that this is probably the stuff that is in the bottles that you found in the vault, and that Chadwick Crumble is making in his weird cathedral lab.
Is that plagiarism?
So this seems to be the like the stuff that cures, if you will, the strange effect of the plague, and the weird little ember floaty thingies.
That seems handy. Can I show that one to the doctor?
And he
What do you
takes
make
it
of
from
this?
you and he says, "Oh yes, of course. This is absolutely disgusting. I knew Peachwood's handwriting was bad, but this is just ugh." Ah, very well. Indeed, it's a formula for a sort of, well, it looks mostly like a basis formula for a potion of cure moderate wounds, but seems like there's been some alterations made.
Yeah, we've had some
so-
of this stuff before.
No, indeed. You've had it?
Yeah.
From whom?
Chadwick?
His assistant? Is he still
Yeah.
alive?
Yeah.
Figured the man must have died in the plague quarter weeks ago.
Well, he had this stuff, so...
Ah, that's true, I suppose. But how does he make it? He's in the plague district.
Something dead monks? I'm not sure.
Oh. Ugh. Well, I have to commend this for him for his creativity, I suppose. In any case, this seems pretty reproducible. So, I'll take this and I'll see what I can do with it in my laboratory.
Cool.
If you find that agreeable, of course.
I mean, seems like a good idea to me. Do you guys think that's okay? He looks to Sigmund and Thora.
Yeah, I mean, fuck it. Thyra shrugs. I don't know. I can't give it a go.
I mean, even if there is like this manufactured plague, if you can combat it, don't die. Please don't be killed, like Peachwood was. Please don't do that. Then
That's
you know.
actually a good point. We should
No.
probably make a copy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
wish I
can,
had that apparat sphere.
You can just copy it in writing.
Oh yeah, Dave does that.
Thyra does that.
Alright. So you now also have a copy of the
She has it
formula
on a
for,
post-it note.
the augmented cure moderate
The
wounds
augmented
potion.
cure, blah 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 blah.
Correct, indeed. So you have that. Sigmund, what are you doing at the moment? What are you searching?
He's got his nose up against the glass of the mithril armor cannon.
Mithril.
Ag?
He seems to be muted.
As Sigmund
Maybe he's
is not
munching on
around at the
something.
moment, Thyra is going to investigate the elevator.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was muted because I was in the toilet. But now I'm not.
Nice.
So,
Well, I'm glad you muted.
So, Sig his nose is up against the glass of this mithril kind of thing. Like, how protected is it? Like, how stealable is this? Because Sigmund could feasibly just, he's already wearing his armor at the moment. Like, How stealable is this armor?
This case is locked, but it is just a glass case.
I can pick locks.
There is 2 other locks, it seems, on the sort of bindings that hold the armor inside the display case.
Yeah,
And
Dave.
now,
Like, how are we doing with regards to the? Oh, you've got it. We've got all the info. Okay.
Yeah, I think so. We should probably get out of here.
Okay. Well, yeah, Dave, give it a go. Like, you can pick locks, right?
I'm not helping you steal stuff. We don't need. Well, I mean, it's pretty cool, but I just don't want the guards to be back on alert again if they see that this is missing, because we need to bring the Chancellor in
Okay.
here, and maybe his girlfriend.
Alright, well,
Maybe we
Okay.
can steal it after we've knocked out the Chancellor, because then we've already done a bad thing.
Dave, you are the voice of reason, and I trust your judgment.
Thanks,
right.
Dave. Age
Thyra,
19.
Thyra, as you are studying this elevator, you see that there are only 2 buttons on it. There's the button to call the elevator, and there's also another button which has no label.
Okay, I'm just saying I really want to push this button, y'all.
Do we have any idea where that goes?
No.
Mr. Payne? Dr.
Amos
Payne?
Payne says, well, it can't go up, since we're at the top of the tower, so it must go down. But to where, I don't know. And let's see, what's below this? Well, half of the academy, really. We're in one of the 2 towers. Though I've never seen an exit for an elevator in this place.
I'm just saying cool elevators usually blow a case wide open in those science fiction books I've been reading.
Push it. Do it.
Sigmund, do you want to come on an elevator adventure?
I want to come on an elevator adventure. I'm not Sigmund, but I want to come.
Yeah, I know, I just...
Would you like to go up in the world?
Sorry, Amos, would you like to come on an elevator adventure?
Yes, in fact, I think I would. Now that I see that this thing is here, I'm wondering where it goes, and what the Chancellor might be hiding from us.
Okay, let's get in the elevator. I was
button?
already...
Let's go.
Everyone
Which button
else
do you
get in the
push?
elevator.
The button to call the elevator, or the button with no label? You are still at the doors of the elevator. It's not here.
Oh, I see. The button with no label. That seems more ominous.
Okay.
It's not
So you push the button, and you don't immediately hear or see anything, but you hear sort of down the elevator shaft as you sort of listen through the like the metal doors. You hear a click, 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 and something seems to have changed configuration.
Oh, okay. Thyra's gonna hit the cool elevator button and see what happens.
Are we gonna go sideways in this thing?
You hear a
fucking weird.
And at a certain point, something stops behind the door, and the elevator door opens, and you see the inside of the elevator. It is quite decorative.
Who could have seen that?
And you see yourself in like one mirror side of it, and you notice that there are 4 buttons inside. One of them has a 1 on it, 1 a 2, 1 a 3, and 1 again has no label.
Oh, okay. So there's 3 doors out of an elevator. Thyra hits them all.
That's one way of doing it. Have we even all got in there yet?
Thyra waits for everyone else to get in and then hits all the buttons.
Okay.
Okay, so you hit all the buttons, and as you also press the one with no label, all of the buttons light up in what seems to be like a sort of faintly like reddish goldish color, and the elevator goes down, and it's quite a turbulent one. And as it's going, Amos Payne sort of ponders, that's odd. This thing seems to be going quite fast, but it just keeps going. I wonder where we're headed. The elevator keeps going, and there is a
For
little
45 minutes.
there's a little frame that flips, and it has sort of a painted face on it with a little open mouth, and out of it comes a noise. Welcome, Chancellor Michaels. You have requested the ground floor. Enjoy your day, in sort of a weird, disjointed voice. And the elevator stops, and it opens. And you see before you a long hallway with about 4 doors, 2 on either side and 1 on the end. And it seems very dark.
That's 5 doors. Oh, no,
there
there's 4
are
doors. No, that's
there
fine.
are lights on there that are not like torches or stuff, but they seem to be like containers, glass containers with some kind of stuff in it.
And they're out right now, like it's dark here.
Yes, they are.
Thyra's gonna cast light.
Okay. Are you stepping outside of the elevator?
Yes.
As you do, all things light up.
Oh,
Oh,
that's cool.
well, this is fucking useless, isn't it? Thyra turns off her light spell.
Nice. And yeah, the doors have no labels. And it's a pretty big hallway, so this seems to be a quite large space.
Thyra
And
turns on the spot and looks at Dave.
Amos is
Right.
really confused and says, "What is this place?
Do you think
I've
we're
never been there
underground?
before, and I've been almost in the entire academy. I've slept in almost every broom closet while I was a student. I've never seen this place."
I used to sleep in broom closets quite a lot when I was in cleric college too.
It is the best way to survive.
You know, I think a broom closet's quite spacious.
You would.
Oh
Do you want to lead as you're a little bit more sneaky?
yeah, I'm stealth team.
Mm.
Sure. Dave will do that thing. Go up to the nearest door and like put his ear to it, or like look through the keyhole.
What kind of which doors are you looking?
The closest one on the left, let's say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Glanvar. Having a stakeout was maybe not. It's kind of tricky to also give you something to do at this point.
Could
It's
we
more that I
retcon
thought
Glanvar
things-
in?
Honestly, I more thought things were sort of going to be going more in that way, so that's why I thought, well, I'll be useful.
Could
Maybe
we
you
retcon
might be
Glanvar
useful
in? I
later.
mean, he could have done stakeout as his.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I'll allow you to say, because otherwise it sort of disjoints the whole thing, that Glanvar has returned to you before you got into the elevator, and he has been like let into the back door, and you are. He has also
And
been
he
dressed
was
up.
also around for the mithril scene.
Yes, he was also around for the mythic scene. Yeah. Because yeah,
Staring at it doe-eyed as well, then.
yeah. I'll allow it because it is otherwise just annoying.
I just I made a daft mistake, and I thought
That's fair. I mean, it's no problem to retcon something like that. Okay,
Sorry.
so you are in the hallway. It is
Oh, what was that?
light. Right about now.
someone dropping out the call by
Yes.
sound of things.
Agnia's internet's out.
Oh dear.
Okay, poor Ag.
Okay. So, you enter. Are you entering one of the doors, or are you listening, or are you? What are you doing?
Glanvar's going to put his ear to the door.
Which one?
Door number 1.
That's the one I'm at.
closest.
Yeah.
The one I was going
So,
for.
Dave, both you and Glanvar put your ear to the door.
Well, Glanvar's got high perception, you know. He can...
That's true. You can both roll perception for this.
Dave's is okay. Dave's would be good if you weren't here. Nope. Yeah.
Yep.
Perception. Oh, see, I almost got as good as you.
Good.
It's a
That's
shame
really
that
good.
to eagle ear power activate. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you You, Dave, you have very good perception. You listen in, and you hear like a dripping sound, like something bloop, 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 bloop. Otherwise, you don't immediately hear anything. You hear sort of a low, like a low buzz of like something electric or something like that.
Sounds weird,
Glanvar
man.
with a 29, you also are able to sort of sense the energies that coalesce here because you have such a high monk perception. There is you have a strange vibe about this room, as if there is a kind of a presence that not really a very distinct feeling, but it seems that there is some just a sort of like back of your neck sense that there is something else living inside this room.
Oh, I can't hear anyone. We should go in.
I would be more careful. I sense something in there, and I'm not sure what.
Okay. Dave looks back at the others and shrugs.
Let's check the other doors first.
Okay, sure. That makes sense to me. We do that.
So I'm just going to label them door number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
5 being the one at the end of the hallway. At door number 2, you hear nothing. There is absolutely no sound there. At door number 3, you hear what sounds like shallow breathing.
Oh, that ain't good.
But it's not one breath. It seems to be sort of like a combination of many sort of very silently, slowly breathing things.
What if there's prisoners?
Are they breathing deeply or shallowly?
They are breathing shallowly.
Does it sound like does it sound like a big things or small things, or can you not really tell?
You can't really. It's not like humongous, and it's big enough that you can hear it.
Okay.
But that's about all you can tell.
Okay.
Door number 4, again, you don't hear anything. And behind door number 5, where's my notes? Behind door number 5, you hear sort of a creaking, like a. That is what you hear from the doors.
Oh.
Ah, he
Okay.
returns.
Hello.
Hey.
Oh, we found
Hello.
this horrible black site place.
Yeah, you. So everyone went down the elevator. There is a hallway with 5 doors, 2 on either side, 1 on the end. And Dave and Glanvar have listened to the doors. One of them produces a dripping sound, sort of a bloop, 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 methodical dripping sound, and a low buzz. And Glanvar, with his spider sense, could sense some presence in there. This is true for door number 3 as well, by the way, the one with the breeding.
Who's clicking a pen?
Oh yeah, sorry, I am clicking my pen.
I like that
Behind
you
door
didn't
number 2,
immediately
they-
realise.
Behind door number 2, they heard nothing. Behind door number 3, they heard multiple accounts of like a shallow breathing. Behind door number 4, nothing again. And behind door number 5, a sort of slow creaking sound.
I want to go into the one that's got the breathing. Like, it could be prisoners.
Yeah, let's kick it open.
Not kick, because it could also be like, you know, guards that are asleep or something.
Okay, so you open it.
Oh,
And-
cool. Slowly, carefully.
Yeah, you carefully open it. You sort of the thin light spills into the room, and you can see like large tables, and as you push the door open far enough, bloom, bloom, the lights in the room go on, and you see at the end of the room what looks like many doors. So there are like about maybe almost 20 doors, and they look like jail doors as well. They're metal, and there's a little like window to open. And otherwise,
so it occurs to me that these people probably had to make the plague somewhere.
It's fine, we're immune. Get closer to like the jail doors, I guess.
okay.
See what's or who's in them.
As you open up one of the little windows, you see someone sitting inside, who is sort of.
Wait, can I actually reach?
That's a good question. You might not.
Someone
be able to,
lifts
because-
Dave up so he can open the window.
Yes, so Dave opens the window. You can see someone sitting inside, in sort of grey clothing, and they are seemingly asleep. And this indeed seems to be a cell of some kind, and they are wearing sort of grey clothing with long sleeves and long trousers. You don't notice anything immediately striking about their appearance, but it is a person.
Just a human, okay.
Just a human, yes.
But it sure looks like a prisoner.
Yes.
Are we gonna assume that Dave says quietly, ducking back out again, that these are, captives and this is not actually a prison for criminals or whatever? This is kind of messed up, man. I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out.
I don't know either.
Gable's also
Okay.
freaking out. He's getting flashbacks.
We could try some of the other rooms and then free these people if we're not certain.
Yeah, okay. I think I would rather have a criminal get out on my conscience than we left a bunch of innocent people to die.
Yeah.
I would rather leave a bunch of innocent. Well, they're gonna die. Someone will find them eventually.
I feel like, as the criminal in this scenario, Glambar. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Can Glanvar approach them and do a sense motive to see if he senses some sort of kindred spirit from them?
You can, yes.
From their general disposition.
I mean,
You
it's a very
can.
tortured.
Roll sense motive.
Sense motive.
I imagine you got to be pretty good at that, right? I shouldn't have
Yes.
said that. Oh no, you're fine.
Yeah, 28, yeah. So you sense not a cruelness or something similar to these people, but rather a strong, like well, that's sort of an oxymoron, but you sense a noticeable weakness about them. And as you peer through the things, you see that many of them are also very pale, almost to the point of seemingly being anemic.
Called it.
You are looking through these things. You notice that one of them actually has hands that seemingly go from normal skin to gradually to sort of an earthen texture almost, and another one has like a sort of very pale and frazzlish hair, and one of them has what seems to be sort of a few patches of scales on the side of their neck and their arms.
I don't think we should be letting them out.
Why not?
We could
actually
let one of
roll
us...
me a knowledge if you can see this, and Dave and you guys can also see the fact that they have sort of weird markings. Roll me a knowledge nature and a knowledge arcana combined.
Can I take my
Is it only if you have them?
my nat
only
20,
if you have
please?
them.
Dave.
I
What?
can't remember if I've had that already today. I don't think I have. My nat 20 that I get once a day. I
you
knowledge
can.
check.
Okay.
I think
haven't
you've
used it
taken
yet
10s a
today.
couple of times.
Yeah,
but-
well, I can do that an infinite number of times though.
Okay.
Oh,
So
really?
you
Sweet.
take your natural 20.
It's only on one of
if
them, though.
that's- yes. Which one?
Let's go with Arcana, and I'll just roll Nature. Oh no, we're fine. Double nat 20.
Oh my god! You've
Well-
got to be fucking
What?
shitting me.
So she
I know
has a double critical.
everything.
Dave
Well,
works out the
it's only
entire
a one in,
conspiracy.
it's only a 1 in 400 chance.
Whoa.
Oh my god.
Well, I mean, I didn't roll the
Oh
other
my
one,
god.
did
I cannot believe this. That is amazing.
Well,
Maybe Aunt
sorry.
Tilda has
Sorry,
seen this exact same thing before, or something like that.
Yes, she has, and you have, and almost all of you have.
Oh.
Because
Oh, it's
what
the
this
boat lady.
is general signs of sorcery.
Oh, they're
A
sorcerers.
lot of people with like sorcerer's blood, their bloodlines tend to show in like little ways, like skin changing like to scale, or a hair tinge or something with the eyes, or something at least. You know that Apollyon always looks like it's Monday morning, and that's part of his undead bloodline.
Oh, I just figured that was him.
It's also him. It's a mutually empowering effect.
It's like that handshake meme. Being undead,
yeah.
being a mess.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. But yeah, these people are sorcerers.
I think we
you
should
can
let
tell that
them out.
some of them are well. You have a crit, so I'm just gonna tell you. So you can tell some of them have like an earthen bloodline. Some of them have like what seems to be one of them has seemingly like a fey bloodline. These are things that are pretty common for the area. It's not something like, for instance, that they all share a bloodline, or that they all have like bloodlines that are rare, like
No,
angelic or demonic bloodlines. Or
they're just randos.
They know we're here, right? They're not.
No, they're asleep.
most of them are asleep.
Nice.
One of them opens an eye as you are passing through these, and sort of opens her mouth to speak, but you notice that these people are very weak, and she does not seem to be able to say much to you.
I'm opening the door.
Fine.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna break the locks.
Or pick
Maybe
the
let
locks.
me go first.
Maybe
Sure.
what?
Because she can
Maybe
do
let
it.
me go first.
Thyra can heal and
have it.
hit stuff, just in case.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
true.
I'm a fun, positive energy caster at the very least.
You're
So,
the full package, Thyra.
well, thank you,
she-
Dave.
She looks up at you and she says, "Who are you? Is it time again?" Very well.
Time for what?
And she sort of said, "Well, I don't know really, but I." And as she gets up, she sort of sags through. Like, "Oh, I feel so dizzy. It's
How long have you been?
So, is
How
the
long have you been down here?
I think I'm not quite sure. I think maybe a week,
I had a
something
cat.
like that."
Hi, cat.
Was that Fonzie? That was so
Yes,
cute.
that's Fonzie.
Hi, Fonzie.
Hi,
You guys do know that I'm wearing a headset, right?
I know.
Yeah.
He knows.
And
Going right into it. What a little lad.
yeah,
Mm,
small boy.
small boy.
Small boy, very loud.
Mm,
That
loud
seems
boy.
accurate.
Like-
Boy.
Like all small
Yeah.
boys.
Yes.
Yeah, you were saying something anyway.
Sorry.
What are they testing on you? Do you know?
Have you chosen to be here?
No, I remember I was in a plague district, and at a certain, I think there was these men from the academy, and they said, "Oh well, you've got to come with us. You've been letting out. You're cured." And then they took me here, and it's weird. It's every day they do the same thing. I have to sit in this large glass case, and there's this sort of like a red smoke that fills it up, and then I sometimes I pass out, but it's always I always feel so lethargic and so light whenever they do it.
I'd like to hand
It's
her
always the same thing.
one of my modded Cure Light Wounds potions. Just
Oh,
in
good
case.
idea.
All
Yeah,
right.
This should help.
As she drinks this, you can see a lot of color to her face returning, because she was before that very, very pale. And she sort of blinks her eyes and says, "Oh dear, oh, thank you. I feel much better. Are you with the academy?"
He is. Dave points at the
Yes,
at
we
Amos.
are medical people.
we're
This is
academy.
the head medical man who we work for.
Can you please tell me what it is that you're doing here? Why do I have to do this? If how many times do I have to do this before you let me free?
We're not from that department. This is a separate sort of.
We're not with the academy, Mr. Stove.
Oh.
Fuck! I was so good at lying for a second there.
Okay, well.
Well, that's relative.
We're not gonna hurt you.
okay.
I promise. We're gonna get you out of here.
We're
in
here
fact,
to
How many
help.
more times do you have to do this? 0 more times, because honestly, some pretty fucked up shit is happening here. I don't really know what's going on, but you know what? Dave, are you with me on this? I think the one thing I'm sure about is that these guys need to get the fuck out of here.
Okay, so as you are opening up the prison doors, Amos is very struck by this, and he is looking at these people, and he sort of opens up one of their eyes, takes a look, and he like pulls up a sleeve. That's strange. Well, that's certainly yes, anemia, very strong anemia, blood loss, but I don't see any wounds.
So they're siphoning out what, sorcerer's bloodline blood?
Do you think that?
Well,
do you think
that's
that
what I
like
think.
how Chadwick's using the dead monk's positive energy to make the cure? Like, do you think this is how they're making the plague?
That's my. Well, I'm not. You know me, Dave. I'm not an intelligent man.
I want to take that segment.
Uh,
You know a lot about
I was going to follow up
horses.
that with something, but I don't really have anything. I'm just going to leave it there.
Okay, so Amos is looking at their arms and says, all right, look here. And he extends one of their arms for you to see. He says, you see this? It's very small, but they're puncture wounds, very, very small puncture wounds. But I wouldn't know what makes something like this. I've never seen anything
very
like it
small
before.
needle. She said there was some kind of tank, right? Did you all see
Yes,
this?
it's perhaps a needle, but it's so strange. I wouldn't know what
Wait,
kind of
what was
contraption
that weird thing they had in Lab 4 about animal powers?
Lab 4. That's the summoning lab.
They had something that seems to extract blood from summoned creatures, right? So I guess something similar to that.
Indeed, I think that what Lab 4 does is, as long as I remember it, is it's an outsider experimentation lab. You know the glass spheres that they have with the needles, right?
Yeah.
It's to extract outside the blood. That's how it works. It summons an outsider into the sphere, right into the claws of all the needles, you might say. That's how the thing works.
Seems very cruel.
Made for experiments, but I've never really quite liked it. But well, that's the alchemy department. It's not as if I have any say in what they do, but
do you think it's something
bizarre?
similar?
I think it might be, but to
Is it
extract
in
blood,
one of the other
they wouldn't
rooms?
know what kind of. Yes, you can definitely look into the other rooms.
Yeah, it probably is in one of them. Maybe we should just trash it, just to be on the safe side.
Honestly, I can only agree with you there. I don't know what's going on here, but it certainly doesn't sit right with me.
Good. I'm glad. Let's fuck this
Okay,
shit
so
up.
we freed all of the sorcerers, and sort of. Do we have enough?
Oh, you're cutting out just a little there.
Jack, no.
Do we have enough healing potions to heal them up? Apparently, we have a crate of the Cure Light Wounds
We all
Plus.
got
Yes,
given
you do.
2. I only had 2, but I've now got 1.
You have a crate from Olaf Peachwood's stash, which had 10.
Oh, okay. Cool. So,
And these are 12 sorcerers.
uh-oh.
But you've healed one of them already.
We
so
can
11
we can
remaining.
heal the rest of you, we promise. In the meantime, Dave can
Amos
use...
Payne, as you are rummaging through, Amos Payne says, wait, let me tend to these people. I'm a physician after all, this is what I do.
Okay.
And he rubs his hands together and you see like his golden, like pure, like positive energy needles appear. And you can see that he is sort of applying them as like magical acupuncture, and it seems to also be doing like a healing effect on them. You explore the other rooms. I'll take care of these people.
Okay, thanks. Okay, let's go poke around.
So that was room number 3.
Maybe
There
let's start
remain
with the...
1, 2, 4, and 5.
Maybe the terrible presence one?
No, I was
I
thinking
say
the
we start with the
quiet,
rooms that are that
the quiet
aren't
rooms.
got a-
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
just in case everything does go
So-
tits up.
That's number 2 and number 4.
Dave wouldn't say tits
Which
up.
ones do you take?
Both of which one?
2.
Yes.
Okay.
let's
So
do it.
you open number 2. It looks like a photo developing room almost, but there are
Not
no
really know what that
photographs.
looks like. Photographs. Only
Yeah,
exist,
well,
man.
it's an explanation to you rather than your
Yes.
It looks like a photo developing room almost, with a lot of like trays of liquid, and you also smell like a stench of like what seems to be like a caustic, like chemical smell almost. And you can see that inside the trays there are feathers, long, pale white, almost like shiny white feathers
Hey,
that are
bird
lying
boy.
in these trays.
Hey,
yeah.
bird boy.
Do I know what these are?
Roll knowledge planes.
Planes. Okay.
It's 23. That's very good. You look at them, and you look at a few that are stalled out in like a rack that are not treated with this chemical yet. You recognize their sort of pale shimmer, and you try to bend one of them, and you notice that they have the consistency of a metal, and they are very resistant.
Skarmory.
These are angel feathers.
How these aren't from a bird. These are angels. How are they getting angel feathers? That doesn't seem very.
You notice that all of the feathers are similar in color, in shape.
From the same angel.
So it would seem. But there is
That's-
no trace of an angel nearby.
And none of the sorcerers seem like angelic sorcerers that we could tell.
No, they do not. Because the angelic sorcerer bloodline is quite rare, you know.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't mean very much. I mean, halfling barbarians are rare, and we know one of those.
That's true. That's very true. But yes,
Half
that is
orc
what
bards
there
are
is in
rare,
this.
we know.
What's a rare?
Half orc bards
Halfling
are also
bards
rare.
are like halfling bards are like half of all halflings.
I said half orc bards.
Do we
Oh.
know any half-orc bards?
Orc bards. Orc bards. Okay, so that's what you find in this room. It seems to be a room where these angel feathers are treated in some kind of chemical substance.
I'm gonna put one of the feathers very carefully, like one of the ones that's like dry, in my bag for further investigation.
Very well. That is door number 2.
The other quiet room.
Okay, that is number 4.
Did that one have a nasty presence to it as well, or was that?
No, it does not. That is only room number 1.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. Let's go. Let's look in here as well then.
Alright.
Okay.
Grandma's gonna have his bow drawn with an arrow notched.
No, we're going to the quiet one first. The other
Oh,
quiet
okay. I thought you said go to room 1.
Okay.
one. We can do that one next.
Okay. So this one looks like a forge room almost. You see like metal casting molds, and you see that a lot of them. Thyra, you especially recognize this from the smiths in Mjolkirk. These seem to have been made recently. They have not yet been used, and they have the shape of like armor plating pieces. And it seems that someone is preparing to make a suit of armor.
Just for the record, Thorshaven is the city
Oh, yes,
with the
of
big
course.
forges and stuff.
Yes,
Mjolkirk's
Thorshaven then,
pretty much
yes.
a little temple.
Oh yes, of course.
Town around it.
My apologies. Then
That's alright.
Thorshaven it is.
I think we talked about that in last B team as well. So,
Oh right, okay.
Oh yeah.
so what's this armor for? Sorry, I didn't. Is
There
it just
are mold plate, like metal molds for armor pieces, but they do not seem to have been used yet. And you see that the forge stuff that is in here, you recognize it quite easily as stuff that is made for very high temperatures. So you see a lot of like lead and stuff, things that are made to withstand high amounts of heat. That is room number 4.
That's weird, man.
You can investigate further, or you can continue to another room.
Thyra? This is like your thing. Oh. It's Mike
sorry?
again.
Thyra.
I think
said.
Mike dead again.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Yeah, it's not great. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Well-
fantastic.
We're almost at the end of the session, so if it can
Yes,
just hold
I've
out
just
for like
been
5
unplugging
minutes
and
more.
back in.
You
Yes,
can
5
do
minutes
it!
I'm just saying, classic cliffhanger banter. Let's go for the awful, ominous presence room.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I want to know
Indeed.
what's in it.
Nah. Okay, Glanvar has his bow ready and an arrow notched.
Thyra
Okay.
has her hammer drawn and she kicks
Wait, is
the
Glenn
ominous
not here
presence
now,
door
or-
open.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we covered that. Were
Oh,
you
yeah,
away for that?
I think he got retconned.
Glenvar
Glanvar
out.
appeared in a cloud of retcon.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
we realized that him being on stakeout was a bit of a mistake because otherwise, like, he
Poor-
wouldn't be able to do anything.
poor
So we
Haggis, what to
retconned him
do?
here.
Okay, I think I was down at that point.
Yeah.
My mic was off.
Okay. So you open door number 1, and you see that the room is mostly empty, aside from a large glass installation. And it has a central, what seems like capsule, large enough to fit a person. And it has a lot of glass tubing with lots of valves that can be opened and closed. You see one glass containing like containment chamber, which is filled with a dark red cloud that is sort of coalescing and undulating in its little chamber. And you see that part of that cloud is twisted through what seems to be like a distillery setup. And at the end of that, you can see that out of the cloud there is dripping a dark red fluid.
Hey,
Which you
sorry,
can
you've got
only
ranks in
assume to be
brewing,
blood.
right?
Oh
I mean,
shit!
yes.
Droop, droop, droop,
I'll take a
droop,
look.
droop, into a large like vat container.
I like investigate it.
Okay. What it seems to be is that this setup is squeezing this vaporous cloud for whatever liquid is concealed or held in it. And as for the cloud itself, Glanvar, you notice the strange presence coming from it. And any of you can make me a knowledge nature.
Knowledge nature. Nah.
Oof.
Thyra passes
Thyra,
out.
this is some kind of
Thyra, unsurprisingly, has no ranks in knowledge nature.
yes, okay, then that doesn't count.
It fits the fiction.
Fits the fiction, indeed. With a 19, you
Lower than
recognize this
average roll.
creature. Because it is something that is quite common to swamps. Untilda has definitely told you stories about it. And in fact, you have already encountered it once, though in a different reality, namely in the one of B-Team. What you're looking at is a vampiric mist.
Have we met one of those in B Team?
Yes, you did. Though
Yeah.
you might not have been there for that one.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Then you probably weren't. I think that was Beatrice and another crew. You met them at the large cemetery that you did.
Oh, I think that was
With-
just me and B.
Oh yes, then that was that. And
It hit
Oh, we
Second.
did, yeah.
Yeah,
yes.
Delta
And what
was
you're looking at
harder.
in this distillery thing is a vampiric cloud.
This is a vampiric cloud,
mist, sorry.
says Dave.
That's a bad fucking juju.
It is a very bad fucking juju, I would say.
Hmm.
End session.
And you can see that there's also like signs for like the operation manual and stuff. You can see that there are compartments which seem to be made for feeding the cloud, and it seems in general that there are also valves to allow the cloud to enter the central capsule, which has it's made of glass and has a seemingly like air sealable door.
Should we kill it?
Yeah,
them.
so they were putting sorcerers in here and then feeding. Oh, that's sick.
Let's kill it.
It's literally like drawing out like sorcerous blood.
roll me a knowledge perception, by the way, all of you.
Knowledge perception.
I know how to see
I
things.
know
Knowledge
about
perception. Oh my
perceiving
God.
things.
Roll perception, please.
Roll to know about perception.
Yes. Roll to
Roll to know
understand
how to
the
use your
nature of
eyeballs.
perception. Yes.
Holy shit.
Oh!
What am I looking at?
Oh
And
my
that's
god,
20.
a 36 in
6.
perception.
Wait, I
Correct.
can't see this. This is odd.
Oh,
I'm gonna
Glanvar is
refresh
looking
roll 20.
cross-planet.
Oh
Crit.
dear. Oh my god. A crit.
Glad I've seen
Okay.
into another realm of existence.
Mm-hmm.
I can
Yes.
see
There we go.
time!
I can see time and space.
And,
Amazing.
like 5 people sitting around computers for some reason.
Mhm. Yeah. Indeed. So Sigmund, you do not notice this. Dave, Thyra, you do not notice this either. Glanfar, as everyone is looking at with some kind of like terror and awe at this vampiric cloud, you notice something that is sat on a table, and it looks like small, empty cartridges, and they are of the same nature as the one would load into a wand gun.
Oh.
And that is where we'll end the session.
Well, now I suddenly don't want a gun wand anymore.
I got a gun. I got a gun.
I don't want a gun. No. Why did you ruin a cool thing for me, Mon? But let's end the
Is that
stream.
not a...
Shall
Yes, indeed.
So
All right.
everyone say
Bye,
goodbye to
stream.
Bye,
Thank you for coming,
stream.
stream.
Bye, stream.
Oh,
Bye.
everyone might be at the
For
desktop.
being PATHCO.
Bye.
Fuck.